Hello and welcome everybody to this Albion Online Dev Talk. Today I want to talk about the new faction warfare system, one of the key additions in the upcoming Call to Arms update for Albion Online. As many of you know, faction warfare has been in the game for quite a while now. In this system, players can sign up for one city faction and go fight on the behalf of their city against enemy faction NPC and players. They can capture outposts and earn faction points to spend on faction rewards. When reworking the system, we had the following key goals. We wanted the system to be accessible and inclusive for all players on the Royal Continent. We wanted the city you signed up for to matter to you and to have incentives for staying loyal to your city. We wanted faction warfare to offer exciting large-scale battles that are easy to join. We wanted you to be rewarded for participating in these battles. And, most importantly, we wanted to support existing faction warfare players and ensure their full loot style of faction warfare is still around and improved. So how did we go about this? Well, to make the system accessible and inclusive, we made faction warfare in yellow and blue regions non-lethal. This means players can go and engage with this feature without fear of losing their gear. At the same time, we kept lethal faction warfare in the red regions, increased the amount of red regions, and focused high-value faction points targets there to offer exciting full loot battles in the center of the Royal Continent to veteran players. To increase your feeling of belonging to the faction, we made enlistment and flagging up a two-step process. First, you enlist with a faction to become a permanent member of their ranks. Then, you can flag up, allowing you to actually fight on their behalf. If you choose to unflag, you will still remain enlisted. As long as you remain enlisted, you will keep your rank and other advantages, which we'll cover in detail in another dev talk. With this change, we believe players will no longer be changing allegiance constantly, instead feeling a sense of loyalty towards their chosen faction. Next, we wanted faction warfare to offer large-scale battles for players to gain their first experience in open-world warfare and for veterans to enjoy in periods of low guild activity. Our goal was to focus players from opposing factions on fighting in the same area to create a front line where large battles would occur frequently and players would easily be able to join in. To achieve this, we made regions of the world map conquerable. To conquer a region, a faction needs to control and hold the majority of outposts within it. Controlling a region allows you to capture outposts in neighboring enemy regions, pushing the front line further towards the enemy while protecting your own regions behind the front line. In yellow and blue regions, any players knocked out by enemy attacks will be able to rejoin the battle from a nearby friendly outpost, as long as this outpost is not under heavy attack. So retaining control of outposts is critical to your success as a faction. Should a region get separated from the rest of your regions, you will no longer be able to respawn at outposts within, cutting you off from reinforcements. Players can use this to their advantage by capturing regions strategically and breaking an enemy's supply line. So how are you going to be rewarded for faction warfare? Players will still be rewarded in faction points, which they can spend at their faction stores. Players will earn these points by capturing outposts and regions. The value of these capturable objectives increases over time and is reset when an outpost or region is conquered. This gives players an incentive to push towards those regions behind the enemy front line, where there's likely to be the most value. At the same time, players will be rewarded for defense. Any regions your faction controls will generate points based on their value, with higher value regions contributing more. Players contributing to the faction's cause by killing enemy players and capturing objectives will receive a share of these points in regular intervals. On top of the immediate rewards, you will also receive a weekly report, which sums up your performance and rewards you with additional points based on your own and the faction's overall success. In red regions, you receive the same rewards, however in much greater quantity. Since there will be no respawning at outposts when you are killed, players will have to maneuver carefully and strategically in the red zone if they want to conquer it for their faction. To ensure Red Zone faction warfare is the most valuable new faction activity, the regions in the Red Zone generate much higher value than their Yellow and Blue Zone counterparts. In addition, there is a new enemy in the Red Zone, one who we'll unmask in a later video. Thanks for tuning in to today's Dev Talk. The faction warfare rework is so large we've decided to split it into multiple videos. Come back for the next Dev Talk where we'll talk about the new faction rewards, ranks, the balancing between factions, and the all-new faction seasons. Goodbye.